Voila! So I wanted to respond to the question of a viewer that was talking about what happened when you have mixed ancestry. When you have, your family on one side, your families are from different cultures or from different race, let's say, quote unquote race. We know that there's only one race, but we'll say that. So what happened when you want to honor your ancestors? And I'm not sure because there was not that much detail in terms of the background of the ancestors, and so it will depend. So I'm going to try to take what I think would be a broader spectrum. For example, if you are, I think the person was from the diaspora in the United States. So what I'll say is that if your ancestry is mixed between white and African American or black, I think there's a lot of transmutation and a lot of healing to be done. I think it's a great opportunity if you want to reconnect with your ancestor to do that. If you're someone of mixed ancestry, to look at the different aspects of your ancestors and heal what needs to be healed. I remember on my New Orleans video, and I will link it somewhere, one of the Caucasian person was trying to dismiss the fact when I was telling her that my experience with New Orleans is that despite slavery, people had a life. They were able to love and enjoy the pieces of the life that they were able to create even in those hard conditions. And this person was trying to dismiss that, just to paint all of the slave as people who were so deprived and didn't have any life, only knew about suffering, which is not true and which is not my experience. And I find it very dismissive when I've tried to paint that yes, it was horrible and it was a very hard time, but those were human beings and they did love, they did want to be in the family, they did have feelings for their family members, and even though despite the fact that they were tortured, they had a lot of love for each other. Despite the fact of the conditioning, all the negativity around, they managed to create a kind of an oasis and to even pass on that kind of love. Sure, it isn't reflected the same way it should be, but I really reject the idea that those were just slave and robots that just were only feeling pain, because my experience, as I discussed it in that video, says different. And this is also part of one of my past lives. So the emotion and the experience that I had were very much with a family and love. And so if you are from a background where you know that your ancestors tortured and were very negative and aggressive towards certain people, I think it is a wonderful opportunity for you to means amends, and to heal that womb, to heal that negative energy that's in your bloodline. I think it also takes a lot of courage to do so, because it is much more easier. Sometimes people will just focus on one side of their ancestry because it's easier for them to relate on this side that they deem to be more righteous or more proper. But don't forget that this is still in your bloodline. This is still going to be carried on from generation to generation. And for me, the only way to prevent that from happening over and over again is to heal it. And so I'm not saying that you have to do it, but if you are inclined to, and if you are evolving spiritually and you're discovering and learning about different things at the spiritual level and getting to know alchemy, I think it would be a wonderful thing to heal that kind of womb and to redeem those ancestors as much as you can. I'm not saying to do the whole generational thing if you're not up for it, but at least to pick an ancestor that you maybe knew or know about and redeem them, help them actually remove that kind of negativity. And it can be just done in the spiritual sense. That means you don't necessarily need to find the people that were hurt by this person in order for you to do it. So I will encourage you to research within your ancestors who were the one that had, that did negative things. And I'm using the example of Caucasian and Black Americans, but it could be anything. It could be even somebody who has both parents from the same tribe or from the same kind of ethnic group, and you have somebody who's done something really, really negative. Sometimes it takes the courage of descendants of people to actually redeem those energies, to actually transmute those energies, because you know, honestly, we don't need more negative energies around. And I think the more we do that work of transmuting those negative energies, and the better it will be for all of us, including the person doing that. So I hope that answered your question. And of course, if you have more, if you want to give me more details, or want to discuss this subject even further, or want to book a consultation with me, you can simply send me an email. The information will be in the description box.